So, John, I want to talk a little bit about movies because I'm one of those people that does actually stay to the end of the movie and
Right
I
on.
watch the credits. And I've noticed Gaffer and Grip come up in the credits, and I think, what the heck do they do? So here's my opportunity
Well,
to find
Gaffer,
out.
yeah, the Gaffer is part of the lighting department, and
So he's not a gopher just with a spelling mistake.
no, not at all. And the Grips do a lot of the legwork too, hauling cables and plugging things in, and it's
So these are
basic.
the electrical people. These
That's
are
right.
on
yeah.
that side.
So there's electrics, Grips electrics, and the Gaffer is more of the lighting department. So they're all the guys who work and do all the labor work that obviously the production couldn't get done without them. So.
And the credits seem to go on for like
Oh yeah.
ages and ages, and there's so many people involved in them. And they list the caterers and the assistant to the assistant to the assistant, and you know, are there really that many people involved? Does it take that many people to make a movie?
To make a big Hollywood production, yes, it does, because they've got lots of money, so they can afford all that and more. As an independent filmmaker, there's usually about 4 people in the room and 4 people that are participating in the films that I do, 4 or 5 people, and that's about it. Just myself directing, and sometimes I have a camera operator, and pretty much that's it. And we do all the lighting ourselves, and we don't need as big a production and as big as a team to create what we need to do.
So why does Hollywood do it so big and splashy then? Is it just because they've got the money?
It's because they got the money, I guess. But shooting on film and there's a big difference between what I do and what they do. I mean,
so tell us what that difference is, because it's very hard for people. I mean, if you're not, you know, that technology savvy or something, you know, what is the difference between, you know, are we talking like home video? You know, what's the difference between home video, what you're doing, and what Hollywood's doing? I mean, are those 3 distinct stages?
Well, I think when you look at the Hollywood system, it's just evolved into what it's become anyway, and there's just so many people on board, and because there's so much to do, and when you're working in that big professional environment with like lots of big name actors and things like that too, you gotta wonder if it really is necessary all the time. There's so much waste, and I've worked on big film sets a number of times, and
what was that like?
there's so many people standing around doing nothing, quite honestly.
Yeah, that's boring as heck, right?
Oh yeah, it's hurry up and wait is pretty much what it is. But it's all specialized jobs, it's all part of a union as well, so there's all these specialized jobs, and you got hair and makeup people, and you've got the Grips and the Gaffers, of course, and they all have their specific job, and they all get paid quite a bit of money to do each of these jobs. With me, I don't have any money. I just hire some friends or my brother or whoever is around and say, yeah, we're going to shoot this, and we shoot it on a digital video camera, which keeps things relatively inexpensive, and edit it home in my basement on my computer down there.
So, Richard, how do you get the quality issue out there then too? Because if we're going to ask people to support independent films and go and watch movies that have not been made in Hollywood, how do we give them some sense of what the caliber is going to be? You know, are they going to see something that they think is, this is something that's made in somebody's basement, why would I want to pay money to come and see it?
Exactly. Well, that's a good question, because I think the city, like the first year we did it, it was a Brampton Indie Film Festival, which is we just showed films, and now we've made it grow into something different. And that was like one of the big issues is we don't want school assignments or anything like that. Like I think there is a distinction, and that goes from all the way from like indie art to, I think, Hollywood art. A good idea is a good idea, right? Getting back to what you're saying, like I just, so if you look at, I mean, we actually had a panel of people who were screening the films to see if they were suitable, not only for content, but also for, like, production, exactly. So there were a couple of submissions that we actually, unfortunately, I hate to reject it, but we had to reject it just for, you couldn't understand the audio. It was so, but, you know, all the films that we had this year were of top quality. Like it was a very entertaining night. Our film night was one of the most well-received evenings because it was very entertaining. It was stuff that you couldn't get at the Silver City and pay $20 for. You know what I mean?
So did you have popcorn?
No, we didn't have popcorn, but I think there was beer. So
Well, that'll do
and
it.
cheese, beer and hot cheese that you could drink. So no, no popcorn
No popcorn. Okay.
or New York fries or
Or any of that stuff.
Yeah.
Any of that
No,
stuff.
Taco Bell.
But
So Brian, talk to me a little bit about noise music, because I'm not too familiar with noise music, so I don't know
Well, noise is
what
pretty
that
easy.
is.
It's pretty easy. Just grab whatever instrument, or you don't even need an instrument. Just you know, like
let's make some noise.
there you go. That's noise.
That's noise.
There you go. Yeah.
So,
anything goes.
so what do people find? I mean, do they dance to it? Do they bang heads to it? What do they do to it?
You can do anything to it. You can. It's just expression.
It's artistic
average.
expression.
Yeah.
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 Do they
Pretty much.
dance at Nihilism concerts?
Most people just sit there and I like to sit there and watch how they make the noise, you know, because they don't use traditional instruments.
That's right.
I mean, one of them they were using a drain pipe
Mm-hmm.
to make noise, so that's interesting. I mean, I've seen a guitar being played like a million times, so you know, I know what that looks
Yeah.
like.
Yeah, if you
And
want,
you know
some
what
guy
to
banging on
expect.
and some guy banging on some stuff that came from Home Depot or something. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, I've never seen that before.
like if you want dance music, I think there's it's
called
been
clown,
yeah
right?
exactly. You
Yeah.
know, it's already out there, but this is once again this is something unique. Like
So this is a new art form that we're seeing emerge.
It's been around for a
yeah,
long time.
these guys the Spasm Band has been around for 30 years.
30 years, yeah.
30 years.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
old.
Oh,
They're
wow.
they're in their 60s, and
Yeah.
but they have the same.
Wow, that's really old. That's
It was
really
very yeah, they're ancient.
That's
they're
really old.
crustaceans.
I can say that. That's
But
really
no,
old.
No, it was actually interesting when they visited Brampton. One of them said to me, he said, "What do you guys do here in Brampton?" And I said, "Well, you know, we get together, make noise, we fart." Is fart okay? You said it earlier, an old fart. so
Yeah,
I
well,
figured-
that's a different reference.
Oh, anyway,
Yeah.
but so you know, we just get together and try to have a good time, and but there's not much to do, so you sort of have to create the fun for yourself, and that's I think what people like Brian, myself, John, you have to create a good time because there's not much to do, and that's why you make noise music as opposed to traditional, you know, run-of-the-mill, seeking fame, you know, dance music, let's
Yeah.
say, or anything else.
So you're not looking then to become a pop star?
Not at all.
Pop
my goal is,
artist.
as long as more than 10 people that I don't know hear my band, that's
Yeah.
enough for me.
He
That's my first goal.
He sold a CD that night.
Yeah, I was so happy.
He's still,
One
you know,
CD to a
So
stranger.
you've already recorded then. So you are actually a recording
I'm a recording
artist.
artist, yes.
You're
That's
a
right.
Looking for
recording
9
artist.
more fans, and his dream will be
Yeah.
fulfilled.
Then my next CD, my next goal is 20 people. And I keep building up like
Keep
that.
building up.
Yeah.
But how do you get studio time, or is it something that you just record
I just
yourself?
did it at home.
So you don't need to be
So
at
the computer-
Metalworks or anything like that.
So
You
the
don't need a
computers.
recording studio.
Nothing's, no recording studio, no talent. You don't need anything.
Actually, I used to work at Metalworks, and
Yeah.
it's the same thing that you're talking about with film production. It's the same thing with audio and big name label acts. It's just on a bigger scale, but what they're doing has lesser amount of substance. If you ask me personally, which I guess you are. Which anyway. It's just less. It focuses less on substance for the most part. I don't want to generalize too much. There's good mainstream stuff out there too, but it doesn't mean it's good just because there's a huge budget behind
Yeah.
it. It just in any art form, you know, it just means that they have a lot of money to spend on catering and their addictions like carbohydrates and other things. You know.
Okay, well, we're going to go to the phones. We have Libba on the line from Mississauga. Welcome to Joe at Night. You're on the air.
Hello.
Hi, Libba.
Hi, how are you?
I'm well. Do you have a question for us?
I do.
Okay. Excuse me? I didn't hear your question. I think we've lost that caller. We'll just carry on. We'll just carry on.
That was in the vein of a good man, I think.
Okay.
The crank call is a lost art form.
Well, it's
Especially
not.
Star 69.
It's not so lost. It's not so lost.
I miss it.
Let's talk about smash hits and how we define a smash hit for movies. John, this is probably a question for you.
Sure.
When you look at the news on a Sunday night and it says, okay, here's the latest box office hits for this week, and it lists them all, and that is how they define a smash hit. How do you feel about that? Because as an independent filmmaker, you don't get a box office rating. So how do you feel about that?
Exactly. Well, I try not to look at the box office receipt list at all anyway.
Does